The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. Come on, come all. Welcome to another video here of the Arizona Sports Fan Live Edition. We have a lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean a lot to talk about for the Arizona Cardinals. Breaking news happened. We had some unfortunate news that happened for the Arizona Cardinals today, and we're going to talk about everything, right? We're going to talk about the Robbie Anderson. We're going to talk about the players that we're not going to be seeing for the entirety of the year. We're going to be talking about injuries, all that different types of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So let's dive right into it. Let's first talk about this here real quick. I got to do our quick due diligence, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys have not yet already, come on, y'all, let's smack the like button on this video. I mean, it's the first thing you guys should be doing. In and out, smack it up. Let's see if we can get over to 30 on this video. It helps the channel grow out tremendously. If this is your first time here on the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, I highly recommend you subscribing. We're on the road to 10K, and we're so close to it, ladies and gentlemen. Like it's so darn close. I can absolutely taste it. That's how close it is. So definitely subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. Smack the like button and let's get started. Now, I do know that we have some new viewers coming in here. We are live in the Twitter world. We are live in the Facebook world, and we are live in the YouTube world, of course. So let me go ahead and play this video one more time for the people that were here really early. Let's go ahead and get started.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
This is how I'm feeling right now, ladies and gentlemen, with this whole loss of the Seattle Seahawks. I know today is supposed to be the day that we turn the page, right? We're supposed to be turning the page on this loss, but it's so hard for me to get over it. It's so hard for me to get over this, especially because the Seattle Seahawks Twitter page, man, they were trolling, ladies and gentlemen. They took Cliff Kingsbury's picture, the one that he was laying, chilling, relaxing during draft night. You know what I'm talking about? That infamous, photo that everybody's been seeing so far about Cliff Kingsbury. They modified that, put a background of the Seattle Seahawks, water and skyline, and they changed Cliff Kingsbury's face to Pete Carroll's face, and it just irked me, man. It absolutely irked me. So forgive me if I'm still kind of feeling a certain type of way for this, this Monday. Obviously, it's not a victory Monday, so I'm not in the best of states, I guess is the best way to describe it, but we're still here. We're here to talk some Arizona Cardinals, and we got a lot. And when I mean a lot to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about injury updates. We're going to talk about Robbie Anderson, DeAndre Hopkins coming back, and then also probably one of the most awesome things is basically Cliff Kingsbury, right? He ended up having his press conference today, and we got some big takeaways that we want to talk about that here as well. So let's dive right into it. I think the big notable things that we want to talk about is going to be the injuries. Now, we did get some scares, right? We got some scares for the Arizona Cardinals fan early this morning pertaining to Marquise Hollywood-Brown. There was a report came out that said that he was probably going to be missing the entirety of the season, but they did retract that. But we are still pending a second evaluation from another doctor from Marquise Hollywood-Brown. But basically, this is the latest update that we ended up seeing here, and this is coming from Ian Rappaport. He said some good news for the Arizona Cardinals. Wide receiver Marquise Hollywood-Brown, following the MRI, his foot isn't as bad as we initially thought. It's a small non-surgical fracture, sources said. Recovery time is about 6 weeks. He's getting a second opinion from Dr. Robert Anderson moving forward. So that is the latest update for, Marquise Hollywood-Brown, which is good, right? Initially, we thought he was going to be gone for the entirety of the season, but 6 weeks is still a long time, right? A lot of Cardinal fans wanted to see the dynamic duo between, DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Hollywood-Brown, seeing how this is going to mesh together, and being that he's hurt and 6 weeks is the minimum is very concerning. It's very concerning because we're not going to see that Hopkins Hollywood Brown duo at least for another 6 weeks. And it's at least is what they're saying. Now, I still remember last year when we were talking about, JJ Watt being out, and then they're like, he can possibly come back. And it's just with these reports, take them with a grain of salt, right? I mean, they're trying their best to evaluate an injury, but it's so hard to do so. It really comes down to the body of that athlete and how fast they can go ahead and get back into football shape. So yes, we got a timeline. Yes, it's better than a year, but it still sucks that he's going to be gone for 6 weeks, right? It still sucks. Now, another thing came out here. Another report came out from Justin Pugh. If you guys weren't aware, Justin Pugh is our guard in our offensive line, our starting guard, and he was walked off the field yesterday for this is the Seahawks game, and he is out. So I'm not sure how you guys are feeling about Justin Pugh, but now Justin Pugh is gone for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, they're saying that he's out for the season. He's completely out, and I think he tore, I believe it was with the MCL or something like that. I know something to do with his leg. It's bad news. That's all you need to know. He's out for the entirety of the season, and it sucks, right? We know what this offensive line looks like without Justin Pugh. I almost kind of feel like we're going to kind of get a lot more games without Rodney Hudson. Although Rodney Hudson wasn't the Pro Bowler Rodney Hudson that we all wanted him to be, it still sucks not having him out there, right? Because he's our starter, and we're kind of almost forced to play Sean Harlow. So we'll have to kind of wait to see how that all shakes out. This offensive line has not been doing any favors for Kyler Murray. So that's definitely concerning all around. Now, some positive news for the Arizona Cardinals is DeAndre Hopkins is back. So that's definitely some happy news all around. So Adam Schefter went ahead and said Cardinals officially activated wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins to their 53-man roster and released Matt Amendola. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get some fire emojis in the comments below? And like I said, right, I'm not one to be happy with people getting fired or losing their jobs or anything like that. But man, this whole Matt Amendola saga that we've been having to endure for this long, like, can we finally, like, I just wanted to get a capable kicker. Like, that's all I wanted to get. Now, because we did release Matt Amendola, I'm only assuming Matt Prater is going to be a go versus the Saints this coming Thursday Night Football. But even then, like, that's going to be put into a microscope either, right? I mean, if he misses some kicks, we're back in ground zero in that whole situation there. So we'll have to kind of wait to see how it all shakes out. But hallelujah, DeAndre Hopkins is back. And I think that that's really something that we could hang our hats on. Do I believe DeAndre Hopkins is going to solve everything, right? All these offensive woes? No, I don't. I don't believe that DeAndre Hopkins is going to come in here and be that, that savior that this offense needs, but he's definitely going to add a spark. He's definitely going to add some sort of juice to our offense, which I'm really excited about. So we'll have to kind of wait to see how it all shakes out. I'm hoping it's enough to win this Saints game, because honestly, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how our fans are going to react if we go down 2-5, right? If we go down 2-5 against the Saints at home on Thursday Night Football, and that's going to be 9 straight games, right? Look, I don't know where the headspace of these Arizona Cardinal fans are going to be, let alone myself, right? So we'll have to wait to see how it all shakes out. Hop is back, so I hope that gives us a little juice. 3-4 sounds better than 2-5. Let me just be 110% in saying that. So that's some exciting news for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward. Now, the big breaking news that I wanted to kind of talk about and let you guys know that if you guys don't know, now you know, Robbie Anderson was traded to the Arizona Cardinals today, this morning. Now, the concern came with Robbie Anderson, right? I think a lot of people were shocked with this move. Not that Robbie Anderson was moved from the Panthers, but that the Cardinals went ahead and jumped on the opportunity to bring on Robbie Anderson to the Cardinals team. Like, I think people were shocked at that because it's weird, right? It's weird that Steve Keim jumped on this so quickly, right? That Marquise Hollywood Brown went down on a very dumb play. Let me just say this right now. Marquise Hollywood Brown went down on a play that probably shouldn't have happened. Almost very similar to what DeAndre Hopkins went through last year as well, and we lost him for several games as well. It should stop happening, ladies and gentlemen. Please stop doing it. It's not worth it. Well, it really isn't. But the Arizona Cardinals pulled the trigger today, ladies and gentlemen, and breaking news came out that Robbie Anderson was traded to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I did get compensation, the report, and what we ended up giving up for Robbie Anderson. Now, when I first originally made my original video, I didn't know what the compensation was at that very moment, because the moment I heard, I just jumped on a video and, we needed to put the news out there. But here is the compensation, what Arizona Cardinals ended up giving up to acquire Robbie Anderson. So it says compensation update. Panthers added or traded wide receiver Robbie Anderson to the Cardinals in exchange for a 6th round 2022 pick and a 7th round 2025 pick per source. And this is coming from Adam Schefter. So 2023, we actually don't have any concerns that we're losing any capital, right? It's all really affecting the years after. So 2024 and then 2025. So that's pretty good on its own, right? I think we all can agree that one thing that Steve Keim excels in is the fact that Steve Keim does very good when it comes to trades. I think when it comes down to value, the Arizona Cardinals got some very good value for giving up some late round picks that were probably not going to make the 53-man roster. Like, let's be honest here, right? The Arizona Cardinals got some very good value for some picks that we're probably not going to be seeing. Now, I want to kind of let you in the mind of Mike here, right? I want to let you in the mind of Mike and let you guys know what I was originally thinking of this game or of this trade before it happened. Now, let me get to this contribution coming up here. Clutch Deandre for the first super chat of the night. Appreciate you. He says, I like Robbie Anderson trade for nothing, but problem is Cliff. I can't coach. Cliff Kingsbury sucks as a play caller. So I got some good news for you, Deandre. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so very much. But we got some really good news coming from Cliff Kingsbury that he ended up giving us today. So definitely stay tuned. I appreciate the super chat though. Yes, back on track. So my original thoughts or my original reaction to this whole situation was, oh boy, right? Marquise Hollywood-Brown went down. He's probably going to be gone the whole season. Oh, this is terrible. This is what happened. Then news came out saying that, he was out indefinitely. And then there was an update saying 6 weeks. And then my mind also so after the 6 weeks, I was like, okay, cool, right? 6 weeks is still a long time. And I hate the idea of Marquise Hollywood-Brown not being here for 6 weeks. I hate it. But I mean, it's better than the year. So once I got that update about 6 weeks, I was like, okay, so what's going to happen now, right? Like, this wide receiving core is crowded. Another thought I thought in my mind was, oh man, well, Greg Dortch is still not going to get the opportunity, right? Like, dang, Greg Dortch is getting screwed again. And then another thought I thought in my mind was, well, maybe AJ is going to get cut, right? Maybe AJ is going to get the can, because I mentioned on yesterday's live stream on our post game, ladies and gentlemen, I talked about AJ Green. I'm not a fan of him. He doesn't look like he wants to be here. And if we can just all do all of us a favor and just release him, put Greg Dortch in the slot, maybe Marquise Hollywood-Brown on the outs. I'm sorry, did I say Marquise? So this is my ideal thought. Right now, we have to make some adjustments. This is what I want our wide receiving core to look like now. DeAndre Hopkins, Robbie Anderson, and Greg freaking Dortch. Can I get Greg Dortch back, ladies and gentlemen? Like, okay, I like what Rondale Moore is doing, right? He's had some flashes here and there, but I think it's a no-brainer. Greg Dortch needs to be in this lineup. And it's crazy to me, a guy that's not getting paid NFL-type money at all is saying this, and now the Twitter world and now the social media world is seeing what everybody's been talking about with Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch needs to be on the field. Our offense looked a heck of a lot better than with Rondale Moore. Now, I'm going to sit here and say it's not Rondale Moore's fault, right? I think it's Cliff Kingsbury just trying to be too cutesy. I think Cliff Kingsbury is doing too much with the screenplay because of what Rondale Moore can be, that we're putting him in a shoebox, and it's almost very terrible to see it. So it's not Rondale Moore's fault, but I want the best 11 on the field. And to me right now, Greg Dortch needs to be on the field. Get rid of AJ Green. I'm tired of him. Let's give Robbie Anderson the opportunity so we can finally get some tall wide receivers on the outside and put Greg Dortch in the slot. Come on. Why not? Greg Dortch has had an amazing season so far. But when Rondale Moore got healthy, we started seeing less time, less snaps, and just less attention to Greg Dortch, and I'm honestly not a fan of it. Let me get to this contribution here real quick, and I got another one from Deandre coming up. He says, Robbie Anderson is a big guy also. Kind of excited to see what happens when he plays. I agree. I 100% agree. I actually put this out on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, and I said, I think another positive that we got to take away from this whole trade from Robbie Anderson is that one of the main reasons that Robbie Anderson was moved from the Panthers was that he ended up getting into a heated debate with one of the coaches, right? And then Steve Wilks saw it, and Steve Wilks like, get the heck out of here. And he actually kicked him out. So that's one of the main reasons that Robbie Anderson got traded. Now, in my tweet, I said another positive that we can take away from this Robbie Anderson trade is the fact that Robbie Anderson can very well yell at Cliff Kingsbury when things don't go our way. So that's definitely a plus, and that's definitely a win. I love to see some emotional wide receivers, emotional players on this team because they want to win, and that's what I want. So I love it. Honestly, I think when it comes to trade and value, I think we had a very, very good value in this trade. I like it. I really do. Let me get to this contribution here from Deandre. He says, Dortch is a great route runner and has better hands. There was one of my subscribers, a very loyal subscriber that came on the call-in show yesterday, and he said to me, and I didn't quite fact check this, but you guys probably know a lot better than I do, that Greg Dortch is probably, he said something along the lines that like, in terms of like catching the ball or like, I forgot what it was, and of course I don't remember it, but it had to do with basically Greg Dortch just being a badass, like essentially, like having like a highest catch percentage or something like that. But it's apparent, y'all. It's apparent. We need to have Greg Dortch on the field, and why he's not is beyond me. Is absolutely beyond me. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't blame Rondale Moore. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying he's a bust. It's just I feel like Cliff Kingsbury, for some odd reason, wants to be cute when it comes to Rondale Moore. I don't know what it is. He isn't using him to his full potential. He really isn't, right? It's almost like, oh my God, Rondale Moore's back. Screen. Put everything, out on the back of the line of scrimmage. Screen. And with Greg Dortch, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air because we know that Greg Dortch, if the ball is getting thrown to him more times than not, he's going to get that ball in his hand. And that's one thing why I'm leaning on Dortch more than Rondale Moore. But if Rondale Moore surprises me, then it is what it is. I just want to win games. Like that's really where my headspace is right now. I just want to win games. Like that's it. Give me the best 11 on the field. That's what I want. And that's essentially what I'm looking for. Give me the best 11 on the field. And I believe Greg Dortch is that guy. I do. Going back to this Robbie Anderson trade, I think it's a huge W. I definitely do. Kudos to Steve Keim, right? Kudos to Steve Keim for jumping on the opportunity, right? Jumping on the opportunity for, seeing that there was going to be a player that most likely wasn't going to be here for Thursday Night Football and jumping on it, right? Kudos to him for doing that. We all know that he's very good when it comes down to trades. We all know that. We've given him kudos on this channel for years and years and years. He deserves it. He absolutely does. But today, I did something today, ladies and gentlemen. I did something today, and I know it took the Twitter world, it took the social media world by storm because people were telling me, Mike, why didn't you tell me that you were going to go ahead and riot? Why didn't you tell me, Mike, that we were going to go ahead and start the rally? I ended up doing this today, ladies and gentlemen, and let me take this banner off here real quick. We're going to get back to this Robbie Anderson thing. So this is me in front of State Farm Stadium. I got a poster board here, and I said, fine, I will do it myself. #fire Keim, ladies and gentlemen. And I truly do believe that once we get everybody together, we can actually make a bigger impact. Now, when I made this, it wasn't for the intention of me saying, okay, I'm starting this rally right now, but this is the sign that I'm going to be bringing to Thursday Night Football. And I will be damned if I'm not going to be able to bring this into State Farm Stadium. I will be damned if they're trying to stop me from bringing this in State Farm Stadium. And if they do, I will let you guys know because they're not letting us have our voice. They're not letting us have our opinions. And honestly, when it comes down to a season ticket holder, I think that is absolutely bogus. And we need to let our voices be heard. So when I posted that today, I didn't do the rally, right? It didn't happen. We are going to coordinate it. If this season continues to go upside down, we will coordinate it. So make sure you follow me on all my social platforms. Everything is in the description of this video. My Twitter, my Instagram, obviously my YouTube, where you guys are actually watching. We will be doing it if the season continues to go upside down for this Arizona Cardinal team. So make sure you're following me on all my social platforms. Everything's in the description, as well as the handles are down here on this template or overlay, whatever you want to call it. So let's continue to talk about this trade. I want to hear what you guys have to say, right? Because we got the compensation. We know what the Arizona Cardinals gave up. I think this is a huge trade. I think this is an absolute W trade for the Arizona Cardinals, right? We gave up pennies. We gave up minimal when it comes down to it. Now, do I think Robbie Anderson is going to fix everything? Do I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to fix everything? Nah, I don't. Because Cliff Kingsbury is still calling plays. Or is he, ladies and gentlemen? If you guys didn't catch this, there was a press conference today from Cliff Kingsbury, and let me give him kudos, right? I'll give Cliff Kingsbury kudos for finally acknowledging the fact that he needs help, finally acknowledging that he can't do it all himself. But there was a press conference today, and there was very good questions finally answered to Mr. Cliff Kingsbury. A couple of them said, do you feel like you're in the hot seat? And he said, or do you feel like you're fighting for your job? And he said something along the lines of, yeah, I mean, obviously the way that this has turned out, it's very, very true that he should be fighting for his job, because this, this season didn't pan out the way that it is, or I mean, at least the start of the season didn't pan out. And that he agrees that people are pissed and we should be pissed. Another thing that he said it when they asked him, is he going to maybe give up play calling? And he said it. He said that he is considering any option at this point. All he wants to do is win. The days of Cliff Kingsbury saying things like, I will retire if I get this play, like the play callers or the play calling thing, taken away from me, I will retire. Those days are over, ladies and gentlemen. Cliff Kingsbury looks like he's finally letting go of the reins. Finally letting go of the reins. And that is all we wanted. Give the opportunity to somebody else, because it's too much for him. It's too much. He obviously looks like a deer in the headlights. He does. Now, do I think with this, we should get away from the hashtag Fire Cliff? No, not at all. Not at all. I'm still on board. Hashtag Fire Cliff all the way. Comment it up. I'm still on that. I don't think because of he said this that he's going to, let go of the reins a little bit. I'm not saying, oh God, there you go, right? The season is saved, ladies and gentlemen. Nah, that's far from it. It's still hashtag Fire Cliff. It's still hashtag Fire Kime in my mind. It still is. But we're getting a sliver of hope. We're getting a sliver of, this is the time where we need to make changes. And I mean drastic changes to this Arizona Cardinal organization, because whatever is happening isn't working. Whatever is happening isn't working. And I think it's huge. But I also do think that Cliff Kingsbury didn't have this sudden epiphany, right? I don't think Cliff Kingsbury, fell asleep last night, right? Had a solid 8 hours and woke up and said, hey, I think I need help. No, I don't think it went like that, ladies and gentlemen. I truly do believe Michael Bidwell and Steve Keim are talking in cahoots. They had a team meeting, they had a kumbaya moment, and probably said, if you can't get your offense versus the Seattle Seahawks, there's no more excuses, Cliff. That I truly believe. I truly do believe that the more national media attention that we get on this Arizona Cardinal team makes for hasty decisions. And I think Michael Bidwell will make a rash decision if this season goes upside down. If the Arizona Cardinals don't win any more than 5 to 6 games, hasty decisions need to be made. Now, I know there's a lot of people that are living in a world where they're like, oh my God, if we win like 9 or like 8 to 9 games, we might be saved because we like celebrating mediocrity. You might be right. But if it has to do with me, I won't accept it, y'all. I won't accept it. I really won't. I won't. You'll continue to hear me screaming from the rooftops. You'll continue to hear me scream on my soapbox that this ain't working. You'll continue to hear it. So that's the sliver of hope, right? We got some hope that Cliff Kingsbury is finally going to do the right thing and let go of the reins. That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted. Now, do I feel like Steve Keim is also feeling some sort of fire within his seat, fire under his butt? Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. I truly do believe Michael Bidwell is actually talking to these two and saying, hey, if things don't work out, you know that extension? Psh, 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 psh. Obviously, you can't rip it up, but I would only hope and pray that Michael Bidwell put an addendum, right? Because we're so happy about, we're addendum happy, making sure that Kyler Murray has a 4-hour clause, right? Making sure that Kyler has a 4-hour clause, that he would put an addendum to those two guys right there, Mr. Cliff and Mr. Keim. I would only hope. We're Cardinal fans. We don't get what we want. But that's where the addendum should have been in. Yes, I guess give it to Kyler as well, because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, Kyler Murray isn't playing very well. Kyler Murray is not playing very well at all. And we're going to talk about Mr. Kyler Murray as well. There's a lot of people saying, Mike, you give so much flack to Kyler Murray. You are Kyler Murray apologists. I'm right there with you. But it's coming to an end soon. And I almost promise you, ladies and gentlemen, it is coming to an end soon because he has regressed. Drastically. He has regressed. And I hate to say it, but I've actually painted this picture out to you all. The way that my mindset is that if I had to pick one of them, if I had to pick Cliff or Kyler, I am not rolling the dice with Cliff Kingsbury in this organization in his hands. I'm not. I would rather take Kyler Murray to see how he does with another offensive coach, another head coach. And if that doesn't work, then we start thinking things like, man, Kyler isn't the guy. So that's the reason why I have my mindset the way that I do. But I do agree with you, right? It almost kind of seems like everything that comes out of my mouth is fire Keim, fire Cliff. But please keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that we've been dealing with Steve Keim for 13 or actually 10 years, right? It's been 10 years. 2013 is when he got hired, I believe. We've been dealing with Steve Keim for a very long time. So it's not like we woke up this morning and said, let's fire Keim, ladies and gentlemen. You know, that's the fun thing to say. Hashtag fire Keim. No. Keim should have been fired a long freaking time ago. He should have been fired. Now, kudos to his draft picks from this last draft class, and kudos to Vance Joseph for whatever the heck he's doing, because whatever he's doing is working. On that defense, is working. But we have yet to address a stable offensive line for Kyler. How can anybody succeed? But I do agree with you. Kyler Murray looks like he sees ghosts. I agree. So big highlight, big takeaway from Cliff Kingsbury's presser is that we might be seeing him get away from play calling. Gotta love it. I love it. I'm not going to sit here and say I was the one who spearheaded this, because I know there's a lot of fans out there that are chirping. There's a lot of fans that are out there not happy, and I applaud you. I applaud you for liking these posts posts, these tweets, these YouTube videos that are being put out. I applaud you guys, because the Arizona Cardinals are listening. They are. They blocked your boy on Twitter here. I'm no longer able to see any Arizona Cardinal posts from their Twitter page because I was blocked. I mean, I can care less. They ended up turning the chat off on lives. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that, but on the live press conferences, it almost kind of seems like they turned off the chat because they know that people are pissed, and they are going to continue to hashtag fire Keim, hashtag fire Cliff. So, I mean, I don't blame the fan base one bit. I really don't. I really don't blame the fan base one bit, ladies and gentlemen. I don't. Now, I want to give some respect here. I definitely want to make sure that we do talk about K1. I think it's important. I think it's absolutely important that we do talk about K1. Because Kyler Murray, I'm not going to say lost the game for us yesterday, but everybody was to blame. Everybody was to blame in that Seahawk loss. There was no way that this Arizona Cardinal team or offense only put up 9 points against that defense. 9, ladies and gentlemen, 9. They only put up 9 points. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 points. I apologize, 3 points. That offense put up 3 points. I'm sorry, not 9 points. What am I talking about? I'm being generous. But the offense of the Saints, they can get some points, ladies and gentlemen. They can get some points. Can we talk about the first week, right, against the Falcons, 27-26? Versus the Bucks, they didn't do so hot. They only scored 10 points. Versus the Panthers, they lost. They scored 14 points. And then they got it right, where it seems like they got it right because there's a stretch of 20-plus points a game. Versus the Vikings, they put 25 points on them. Versus the Seahawks, they put 39 points against that defense. That's right, I said it, 39 points. And then versus the Bengals, they put 26 points on the Bengals. And Kyler Murray and the guru that we have in Cliff Kingsbury, we couldn't put any more than 3 points up. That's sad. That's very, 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 very sad. So Kyler Murray does deserve blame. There, I said it. He's not living up to the $230 million contract. There, I said it. Clip it. Kyler Murray isn't playing up to the contract that he was given. He hasn't. It doesn't take a rocket science to say that, right? Because if you take a look at Kyler Murray's stats for the 2022 season in terms of passing touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen, he's at a measly six touchdowns to 4 interceptions. 6 touchdowns throwing the ball. 6. And we're going into week 7. He has 6 touchdowns. 4 interceptions. Man, that's bad. But where my mindset is going in this whole situation with, talking about Kyler Murray and all that different stuff is the fact that Kyler Murray, I would rather rock with Kyler Murray at least for one more year than Cliff. Like, that's just kind of where my mind is. You know what I mean? So that's one of the main reasons why Kyler doesn't get that much flack, but he should. And from here on out, he's going to. He absolutely is going to, because he's not living up to that $230 million contract. Let me be honest here. He's not. He absolutely isn't. So I'm not sure if you guys saw the Seattle Seahawks Twitter page. Did you guys see the post that they ended up posting? They posted something, and this is what I was talking about a little earlier in the stream here. And it was basically that Cliff Kingsbury infamous picture that everybody's been talking about, right? The draft and stuff like that. Let me see if I can find it here real quick, and I'll post it up here right now. Basically, This is what they put. Let me see if I can find it. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find it right. Let me see. Man, they post a lot. Oh, here it is. This is what they did. And how does this not make you mad? Cardinal fans, how does this not make you mad? Let me post this bad boy up here real quick, and let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. Because this is a divisional rival. This is a divisional rival we're talking about here. It's not just, it's like one of those teams that we see maybe every 3 or 4 years. No, it's a divisional rival that has disrespected this Arizona Cardinal team, and they deserve it. This is what they put here. Seattle Seahawks, October 16th is chilling. How about you? So they completely edited and modified this picture from Cliff Kingsbury, obviously changed the face to Pete Carroll. And if you zoom in that little laptop right there, you will see Kyler Murray in his green Hillary Clinton suit. And obviously that XP is a reference to him playing video games. How does this not piss you off? How does that not irk you as Cardinal fans? It pisses me off. It absolutely does. But the thing is that we have no leverage here. We don't. We got no leverage. The Arizona Cardinals look terrible. And now the national media is talking about how terrible the Arizona Cardinals look like. And we deserve it. I'm glad. Keep it coming. Because if that's what it has to take for Michael Bidwell to finally peel back his eyes and really focus on what's going on, hey, we might need that. The Arizona Cardinals right now are in some deep, deep waters. The Saints are in rebuilding mode. Now, after the Seahawks week 3, I automatically knew they weren't in rebuild mode, but coming into the season, we thought they were going to be rebuilding. But they're not, obviously. They want to win. The Saints aren't rebuilding. They're 2-4 too. We got 2 teams, ladies and gentlemen, that are sitting 2-4. 2. Arizona Cardinals and the Saints. 2 of them. And nobody wants to be 2-5. Nobody wants to be 2-5. Can you imagine the fan base if the Arizona Cardinals start the season 2-5? It's only going to get worse from there, ladies and gentlemen. DeAndre Hopkins coming back, that's our sliver of hope. We traded for Robbie Anderson today. I don't know if he's going to play. He might. He might play. Do you think he's going to play? All I know is I want AJ Green gone. That's all I know. I want AJ Green gone. He has done nothing. His production has been laughable. His persona on this Cardinal team has been laughable. And what I mean by that is just he doesn't seem like he wants to be there. He doesn't seem like he wants to be there. Do you know what his stats are for the 2022 season, ladies and gentlemen? Do you know what AJ Green's stats are? And he's our number 2 wide receiver. He's our number 2. AJ Green's stats are 10 receptions, 56 yards, and we're going into week 7. Bruh. We're going into week 7, and this man has 10 receptions and 56 yards. AJ Green, please, I know you're in it for the money. I know. Steve Keim, why did you re-sign him? Or I guess I understand why you re-signed him, right? Because he had a really good season last year. That's why you re-signed him. AJ Green has been a waste of a spot. I truly do believe AJ Green needs to get cut. Cut ties with AJ. Why have him? He's done nothing this year. 10 receptions, 56 yards. You know what Greg Dortch has done in the time that he's had it? Close, what is it, like close to 200 yards, something like that? Let's look at Greg Dortch's stuff. Now, granted, Greg Dortch hasn't been very involved, right? Greg Dortch hasn't been very involved in his last 2 games that Rondale Moore has come back, but he has 21 receptions, 1 touchdown, 204 yards. It's an absolute no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. AJ Green should get cut. He should. Why is he's just wasting space on this roster. And because we favor veterans, he's going to stay. Now, we do got a little hope. Got a little hope. Robbie Anderson, Nuke. But Nuke hasn't. This is his first week back with the Cardinals. Do I think it's going to take him a while to acclimate back into the groove of things? I think so. I don't think it's going to take him very long. Maybe a week to get Nuke back up and running. Not running, obviously. I mean, being Nuke is what we're saying, right? Obviously, being Deandre Hopkins is what I'm saying. Like, it might take him a game. But man, this is a terrible way to start this week 7 Thursday night matchup. It is. Because the Arizona Cardinals right now are sitting with Deandre Hopkins hasn't practiced at all, except for obviously this week. And we're playing a Saints team that doesn't want to be 2-5, and neither do we. But we don't have the fight in us. Like, that's the problem. We don't have the fight in us. Kyler Murray isn't playing MVP Kyler Murray anymore. He isn't. And I don't know what it is. Nobody's got the answers. That's where the big concern is here, is that nobody has the answers. Can we just get some answers? Sliver of hope. Hop is coming back. Cliff finally seems like he's letting go of the reins. So, and then obviously Robbie Anderson coming in to save the day. And if Robbie Anderson doesn't do anything, ladies and gentlemen, I think one thing that we do say here is that Robbie Anderson probably most likely will be able to yell at Cliff. So I think that's a win there. I think that's a huge W. But Greg Dortch, man, put him back on the field. We've talked about him all off season. Next rising star. But you can't be a star if you're not on the field. Can't. We got my guy Ryan saying Rondo's definitely well, here's the thing. Rondo Moore, I don't feel like he's a bust personally, but I don't believe he's the best 11 on the field. I don't like how Cliff is using Rondell. I almost feel like the moment we got Rondell Moore back, and I talked about it a little bit earlier in the stream, is he almost seems he wants to just be too cute with Rondell because he's that Swiss Army knife, right? He's the guy that can do it. Speedy guy. I don't know. Just not sold quite yet on Rondell. I wouldn't say he's a bust, but it's very obvious that the Arizona Cardinals continues to play Rondell Moore because they don't want that narrative. Because do you imagine? Can you guys imagine if Rondell Moore was benched for Greg Dortch? Can you imagine? There would be blood in the water for Steve Keim because that would be the 4th wide receiver that didn't pan out for the Arizona Cardinals. Andy Isabella, Keyshawn Johnson, Hakeem Butler. Oh, Chad Williams too. Remember Chad Williams? Oof. 3rd round pick. And then Rondell Moore. Can you imagine? I think that's one of the main reasons why they are not using Greg Dortch. It's because they don't want to seem dumb. They don't want to say that 2nd round pick didn't pan out. So they're going to force it. They're going to force it. So I don't 100% blame Rondell. 100% I don't blame him. But I do believe that he's got some work to do too. Give me Greg Dortch. That's all I got to say. All right, let's take it to the comments, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of people here today, and I am glad. I appreciate you guys for coming. Can we get some fire emojis in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen? Can we get some fire emojis in the comments below? Big shout out. We got over 150 people in the stream right now. Over 150 people in the stream right now because people know, man. People know that this is the channel. If you want to hear the truth, this is where you got to go. This is where you got to go, ladies and gentlemen, because I like now that our national media is finally actually starting to say things about Cliff. I love it. Keep it going. Keep the narrative going. That's what we need. 180 people right now viewing on a Monday when there's Monday Night Football. Shout out to all you guys in the stream right now. That is absolutely amazing. This means, and this tells me right here, that the Arizona Cardinals fans are pissed and they want to band together. I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you for all the fire emojis. Let me get to Tanner C with the super chat. Appreciate you. He says, who would you want as the next head coach? Ken Dorsey, current Bills OC would be great. See, yeah, honestly, I think that the sky's the limit for this Arizona Cardinal team, but I don't want to go college. I know that for sure. I know a lot of people are saying, well, Lincoln Riley. I'm done with college coaches. I'm done with them. I love the idea of Eric Bieniemy. Now, does it scare me that no team has picked him up so far? Yes, it does worry me. It does. Eric Bieniemy, I've talked about Sean Payton for quite some time. Now, I don't think the Cardinals are a destination for Sean Payton, but hopeful thinking, right? I would love to be hopeful thinking, but honestly, I wouldn't mind Ken Dorsey either. The Bills are freaking playing great football right now. They're playing fantastic football. So to get somebody and pluck them off the tree of the Bills, I wouldn't mind it at all. But Sean Payton would be the guy that I would absolutely lose my SHIT. I would lose my SHIT, y'all, if we got Sean Payton up in here. And I'm trying so hard. If you guys don't follow me on all my social platforms, I highly encourage you do so right now. On Twitter, we are on the road to 1,000 on Twitter. Subscribe it up over there. Instagram as well. I post things where I don't make videos about, but I do keep you guys involved and updated on that as well. All my social platforms will be in the description of this video, as well as the handles will be down here on the bottom of this overlay. So just keep in mind, keep rocking with the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. We will go places. Promise you. We got my person here in the chat saying, I want a coach with attitude. I love that. Whoever we bring in, ladies and gentlemen, I will honestly say this, and I will stand on top of a soapbox. This team is intriguing. And I mean the roster, maybe not the organization, right? The Cardinals probably won't be an intriguing, because we know the history of the Cardinals. We know it. But this team on paper is a very, very, very good roster. Don't let this injury narrative fool you. This is a very good roster, and I mean weapons. James Conner, granted, he hasn't had the best season. He hasn't. But the weapons that we have for Kyler Murray, it's unexcusable. Zach Ertz, Marquise Hollywood Brown, AJ, I want him cut, but I know what he can become. Rondell's got potential. We don't really know exactly what he's going to pan out to be. Greg Dortch is amazing. Like, we got very, very, very good roster. We got it. And then the defense is coming up here. The defense doesn't need to be top 10, ladies and gentlemen, but they're playing at least like a top 15, maybe top 20 defense. And I get it, right? There's 32 teams in the NFL. I'm not trying to hype up this defense very much, but we're getting some amazing production from Byron Murphy and Xavin Collins. Let me be the first to say this right now. I am sorry, Xavin Collins. You, my friend, have been doing wonders, especially these last few games. Byron Murphy, I'm sorry I've ever doubted you for becoming that shutdown cornerback. You are doing wonders, my friend. Thank you. Majay Sanders, Cam Thomas, keep playing the young guys. Keep playing them. It's working. Marcus Golden got involved. Love to see it. We absolutely love to see it. We need to have a kumbaya moment with this Cliff Kingsbury, right? we might see a change of scheme. We might. The noise is getting loud, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anybody going to this Thursday night football game? Is anybody going to the Thursday night football game? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Is anybody going to the Thursday night football game? And if you haven't bought tickets, I don't blame you. I really don't. The Cardinals don't deserve your money. But if you want something to do on a Thursday night, are you going to go to this game? Let me get to this contribution here real quick. We got Karma, and I'm going to butcher that first part, so I apologize, but I'm going to call you Karma. Who do you think will play call if Cliff gives it up? Well, I mean, I think Whipple would be really the only guy that I would guess would be it, right? I think it's Sean Whipple, I believe is his name. Let me just double check here real quick. It would have to be Spencer Whipple. I'm sorry, Spencer Whipple. Spencer Whipple. And who he is, he's the co-pass game coordinator. That's who I would want to do the play calls. Because if you remember last year, remember when Cliff had COVID? Do you remember that? Who was the guy that was calling the plays? Spencer Whipple. So even if it's a bridge, because I doubt that the Cardinals are going to be bringing anybody from the outside to call plays. I doubt it. Now, can it happen? It can happen. It can happen. But I doubt it. So for me, I think it would be ideal for the Arizona Cardinals to lean on Spencer Whipple. We've seen him do it in the Browns game last year, and he did fairly good because we won that game. So I would say lean on him. Now, it's not forever. Please also keep in mind that if Cliff Kingsbury is giving up play calling, there's going to be some repercussions. Because if Spencer, then why is Cliff here? Right? Ask yourself that, ladies and gentlemen. If Cliff Kingsbury does give up the play calling, why is he here? Guru? Why is Cliff here? So there's going to be a lot of concerns, especially if Spencer Whipple is going to be the guy calling plays. And if it's working, hey, kudos. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So I do see the comments here. I know some people want to jump on. Let's do this. We got 7 to 8 solid minutes before we get to the hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. 7 to 8 minutes of, let's open up the phone lines. I know yesterday we weren't able to get to everybody and we had a lot of people waiting up. So let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys want to jump on. I know you guys want to go ahead and share your concerns here when it comes down to this Arizona Cardinal team, which is your favorite team, my favorite team. So let's do that right now. Let's do that right now. I'm going to be putting the link in the chat. There's the link right there. I'm going to pin it to the chat. So if you want to jump on, come through. There it is. Click on the link. It's super easy. If you are coming from if you're coming from the Twitter world, or if you're watching in Twitter, or if you're watching on Facebook and you want to jump on, the best way to do it is through YouTube. Just pure facts. The best way to do it is YouTube. So come on. All it is, it's a link. Click on the link and just jump on. And what happens is that you get put into a background or some sort of back situation. And then I take a look here and I can go ahead and pull people up to see if, what they want to say. So it's easy. Click on the link and jump on. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and get these phone lines open up. Let me change my background here real quick, and then we will open up the phone lines. We do got a few people waiting here in the background here. We got, is it Dyer? I hope it's Dyer. So Dyer, you are live on the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. Talk to me. How are you feeling about the state of the Cardinals? Can you hear me? You might be on mute, Dyer. Okay, so let's take them down. Let's get to Jesus. Jesus, you were live on the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. Talk to me. How are you doing?
Hi, Mike. Probably under the small boat of clean house. Vandenbosch even said this morning on a show, well, everybody's blaming Cliff, but we need like a Kyler. He's not throwing the ball accurately. There's open receivers.
Yeah.
He takes losses on yards where he's running instead of throwing the ball away. If he would have waited a couple seconds more, he had Hollywood open for a touchdown on that play. Now, it can't be all about Cliff. So, yes, maybe Cliff is calling the wrong plays, but, how do we know Kyler maybe isn't reading the defense properly? And maybe the new offensive coordinator will be good for Cliff, because now we can see, well, was it Cliff or is it this quarterback that just came in and got all this money? So who is it?
Yeah, that's a very good, that's a good call out. I think Kyler does deserve blame. And I know, I don't know how long you've been subscribed, but I remember like in year 2 when we were talking about this, and I'm like, if it didn't happen for year 4, there's going to be blood in the water for Kyler. And I'm not going to be sitting here and try to protect them, right? We need to come down to the bottom of this. Let me ask you one question here real quick. What is your thoughts on Cliff? Would you rather stay with Cliff or Kyler, or you just want to clean house?
After this year, if whatever happens, if it don't work out, clean house. And everybody say, well, who do you put then if you don't have Kyler? Well, Burrow came after Kyler, and then the Philadelphia quarterback came after Kyler. So there is talent. And maybe if you bring a new coach like Sean Payton, maybe he's like, I want to develop somebody, but I don't want Kyler. I want to look at the draft and see what top quarterback in the draft I have that I can get in here and model him or whatever, fix him.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Honestly, he sees you got a whole rolled of topic that we will definitely jump into if that turns out the way it is.
So I actually think it would be benefit for Cliff, because then he could say, you guys wanted a new OC, you see it wasn't just me. Or right, maybe we are right and it was Cliff. True. So I think it's best for the organization to find out what we have. Is it Kyler? Is it Cliff? Because when they came in, the organization sold it as a group. Kyler knows the offense. It should be smooth. But I'll let you go. That way other people can get on here.
Appreciate you, Jesus Letterman. All right, let's get to AZ Sports Corner, and then I got AZ Fan 1998 right after. So AZ Sports Corner, you were live on the AZ Sports Fan. What's up? Talk to me. How you feeling?
What's up, dude?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. So I just wanted to say, I'm not fully on the I'm freaking out the season's over train. However, if we go down 2-5, as you talked about earlier, we're going to be in a world of hurt. That's all I got to say. I don't know if like that's going to be a hole that we could necessarily climb out of. And I know 2-5 is still kind of somewhat early in the year, but the way we've been playing has just been god awful. And I hope that, to be honest, they do throw in like offensive coordinator just to spice things up and try something new, because clearly what we're doing is not working to begin with. So
yeah,
I don't know, but I like the way the defense has been stepping up.
Yep. And
it's just sad that with all these weapons, we can't figure out a way to score more than 3 points against the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL. Like that is just, what is that, dude? Like,
yeah.
And I mean, I was like kind of upset with the defense at first too. Like at the beginning of the season, I was kind of putting too much blame on them. And I mean, really, like they kind of deserved it a little bit at the beginning, but they've stepped it up as of late. But even in the beginning, the offense wasn't doing great either. I should have called them out more because they struggled in the beginning and they're continuing to struggle. And the defense, on the other hand, has stepped it up. And kudos to Vance Joseph on that. I've actually been kind of critical of him the last few seasons. I think he's doing the best with what he has, to be honest. I mean, I kind of don't agree with how he develops the younger guys a little bit still, but I like the way the defense has been looking, and I think that they're actually holding us in games. And it's kind of weird because sometimes it feels like these teams move on us a lot really well, but the score is still pretty low.
It's wild. Let me ask you this here real quick. I know we got my guy Jesus saying that, if it doesn't work out this time, you should blow it up. He's saying, right? Even Kyler, because we would get a hefty, I would still say Kyler's draft or his stock is still up personally. What do you say about this? Like if it doesn't turn our way?
I would not like when he was mentioning Sean Payton and a new quarterback and blah, blah, blah. I would not want to go down that road
Yeah.
because we did that with Steve Wilkes, with Josh
Yeah.
Rosen. Then
True.
we had to turn around and do the same exact thing with Kyler. You know how pissed off the fan base is going to be if that
Yeah.
happens? Like, I mean, there's going to be people who are like, well, whatever. Like, I'm excited what the future is going to hold. But there's also going to be other fans like, really, dude? Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the people's brains are just going to be like, and I mean, like you guys have been saying, Kyler, like, he shouldn't be all to blame, but really, like, he deserves a good amount of it because, yeah, we're throwing him a lot of money, and he does not look like he deserves that kind of money at the moment. Like, if you look at guys like Mahomes and Allen and Rodgers and these other guys, they're the people that make this kind of money, but they, like, you know that they have earned it and that they should have that kind of money. Kyler, like, he's not trash. He's not horrible, obviously, but he's got to be at least kind of close to their style of play and their level of play, and he's not playing at it right now. And I mean, it's not just his fault, but yeah, like, something definitely to keep an eye on. But I want to let other people have a chance to talk, and I appreciate you, man, for having me on. I always love coming on your channel.
No worries, man. Have a great rest of the day, man. Peace out. Yeah, big shout out here to Mike Frey with the $2 donation. Thank you so very much for the super chat. Appreciate it. When it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, I love the opinions because I know there's a lot of people that are frustrated, right? I don't know. I think you guys already heard my opinion. Let's keep it going here. Let's get AZ's. Is it AZ Fan 1998? You were live in the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Talk to me. How you feeling?
Hey, AZ Sports Fan. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. So I'll just start off with this. I probably won't even be going to any games in person, honestly, because for one, it's not even worth the money. I mean, literally, the only close games we've had were against the Raiders and against the Eagles. And the Eagles game actually gave me flashbacks of the Green Bay Packers game. Yeah. I mean, literally, it sucked because it hurts. Like, how in the heck do you let this happen? You know, like, literally, we had a chance to get other kickers too. You know, like Rodrigo Blankenship. I mean, he had a very, very bad time with the Colts. I mean, he didn't have a good chance. He was injured a lot, but he was very dependable, especially in college. I mean, he made all the kicks. But aside from that, I mean, with Cliff Kingsbury, with Steve Keim, honestly, they need to get rid of Keim. I mean, yeah, Cliff, you know, he's a blockage right now, but Keim is a big one because I feel like Keim is still stuck in 2015. Like his mindset, he's still stuck there. Like he's still thinking, let me follow my board. Let me follow. Your board isn't working.
Yeah.
I mean, we have no draft picks from after that season. Literally none. Maybe a few here and there. I mean, Hassan Reddick, look what happened to him now. He's with the Eagles and he's succeeding.
Yeah.
Right. But now we have these young guys. I mean, we got to give them a chance. I mean, Cameron Thompson was really good. Same with Majai Sanders. I mean, he's a badass, you know. And at Cincinnati, he's really good. He's a gem.
I 100% agree. I think these draft picks are definitely turning out better, but I don't want that to get away from what Keim has done for this organization, and I don't think it's very good at all. Keim has been in this role for 13 years, and it's funny because a lot of people look to me and they're like, well, he's the most winning GM that we've had. But like, that's like the standard, right? It's like, why are we dropping our standards so low? Like, bring it up.
Yeah.
Like, we want Super Bowl.
Exactly. And it's just like, everybody is okay with mediocrity. Yeah. And I've been a Cardinals fan way before, right as Kurt Warner got here. Yeah. I mean, when Kurt Warner was here, holy cow, he changed everything for all Arizona Cardinals fans. Yep. And that's what I feel like a lot of hardcore, diehard Cardinals fans are looking for again.
Yeah.
And honestly, yes, I can blame Kyler Murray on some things, but if you look at what happened with him at Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, right? He killed it. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury doesn't know how to use Kyler Murray. He doesn't know how to, he does not know how to use any of the offense. Whipple knows how to use the offense. I mean, literally what happened with 2 games. Look what happened. We won both those games because Whipple knew how to use the players. He knew how to play the offense. And, I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, against the 49ers, everybody was – I guarantee you a lot of Cardinals fans were scared about that 49ers game. Yeah. But then look what happened. James Conner went off. I mean, it was a great game. But I'm not on that train yet of the season's over. I'm not on that train yet. I think we can turn it around, but it's just the fact that Cliff needs to give up play calling. and Kime needs to go. Like seriously, he needs to be gone.
100% agree.
And if those two things happen, I think that the Cardinals can turn the season around. And honestly, I think they can go to the playoffs. I mean, look at this team. There's so much talent everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, I'm very surprised about Xavin Collins too. I was on that train of, oh my God, we have another bust linebacker.
Yeah.
And but then he started going off. I'm like, okay, all right, this guy can play. So it's just the fact that, you know, as a diehard Cardinals fan, just like you are. I mean, like literally, I watch your videos after every game because I feel the same exact way.
Yeah.
It's like, what the heck, man? But I really hope they turn it around.
I appreciate it. Thank you so very much for coming through, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let me get to Mike here real quick at the super chat. He says Kyler is sucking on purpose to fire Kime and Cliff. That would be awesome. That would be really genius, right? Heck yeah, let's do it. I love it. All right, let's get to this. Let's do a couple other ones. And I apologize, everybody. I wanted just to get to the hour mark, but everybody's been very, very awesome here. I do want to jump on. So let me see if I can get some new people here that I haven't talked to ever. Let me get to Neil. Neil, you're live on the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Talk to me. How you feeling about the Cardinals?
Hey, man. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right here. So I just keep thinking about yesterday's game, man. I'm a relatively new fan to football, especially. So I'm sure longtime Cardinals guys like you have seen worse than this, but yesterday, man, it was so hard. I live in Texas, so I couldn't actually see the actual game, but the NFL app gives you like play-by-play, and to just see these drives that were like a minute, and you total up negative yards. Like there were at least 2 drives that the total amount of yards was in the negative. Like one was -7, I think, and then the other was -9. So the offense only gets so many drives, man. And when you total up negative yards for a complete drive, it's just, it's so hard. It's so hard.
It is, right? And I think it doesn't, it's not something that like, obviously, hey, you know, welcome to the Bird Gang. I appreciate you for obviously watching and being a Cardinal fan. But, you know, for me, like what I want for this team is just success. And it's like, we're in the NFC West and we're at the bottom. And I know it's not the end. I'm dramatic. I understand that. But like, I want this team to win. What do you think we got to do to fix this?
That's a loaded question. I'm really hard on not like doing a total overhaul of the situation. I'll give you some insight. I'm from Texas Tech, so obviously the whole Kingsbury connection, I'm like, it's very hard for me to think about the overhaul. If we get rid of Kingsbury, I mean, that's just, we're moving on and we're trying to get further along because like you said, we've kind of reached a ceiling and we see it more and more with all of these games. So if we end up moving on from him, that's totally okay. Like I said, I'm new to football, so if we get rid of Kime, I wouldn't really have much of an opinion on that. I'm not ready to give up on Kyler yet, though. I mean, arguably the best quarterback to come out of Texas football in high school. To see what he did with college, what these previous guys have been saying about, it's all about the quarterback-coach relationship. So, like I said, if we move on from Kingsbury and we just find something better for Kyler, then I'm totally all for it. I think that the players that we have on this team it's up there, man, in the upper echelon of like quality of players. So whatever we need to do to just like put all of this talent together and get the ball rolling. I mean, I'll leave that to the experts, I think.
I agree. All right, Neil, appreciate the call, man. Have a great rest of the day, buddy. I love it, man. I absolutely, and that's one thing too, and I love about this channel, and I talk about it every single time. Like, we got viewers from everywhere in the States. We got people outside, like not even in the United States. It's really cool. Appreciate you guys for coming through, and obviously, you know, having your time on me, right? You know, talking on a microphone, talking about my favorite team and your favorite team. So appreciate you guys' time for coming through. And that's for all the 180 people that were here as well. So I do really obviously appreciate you guys for coming through, because this is a therapeutic session for me, honestly. And I think that a lot of people kind of get it twisted. Like, this right here helps me get through. I understand this is a game, right? I understand it is, but for some freaking reason, this team gets me. This team kind of it rubs me the wrong way. I don't understand. Let me get to Mike, just because we share the same name. Mike, you were live on the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. Talk to me how you feeling about this Cardinal team. And this is going to be the last call, everybody. I'm sorry. I only wanted to go to an hour mark, but I wanted to at least get Mike some opportunity here. So Mike, talk to me how you feeling.
Hey, good man. I've actually been a fan since 1998. I'm actually going to my first Cardinals game Monday Night Football against the Patriots. I'm hoping we're going to get a W there. I just spent $600 on tickets, so I need a good product on the field. I got to make it special. But no, I think the issue is Kingsbury cannot grow Kyler. Kyler has outgrown Cliff Kingsbury. We definitely need a new head coach. Keim is way past way overdue for getting fired. I'm a big fan of in-house, so I think Adrian Wilson should be promoted to GM. I'm a big fan of him, obviously, as a former player. But I think you said it already on the channel. Sean Payton, look what he did with Drew Brees. Look how he extended Drew Brees' career. He's on the market right now. Pay that man whatever you need to get him here to help Kyler out. I mean, we all saw it his rookie year. Remember the first half of the Lions game? Kyler looked like a complete bust.
Yeah.
And then, Kyler put it on his shoulders and, we tied. But the animosity between him and Cliff Kingsbury, you can kind of see it. It's not working right now. And I think that's why there's no synergy. There's no heart. There's no sense of urgency. And that's why we're coming out flat every game. Even the games we won, we shouldn't have beat the Raiders. We would literally be 1-5 right now.
Mm-hmm. You're 100% right. And I agree with everything that you just said. I mean, honestly, I think we're all kind of just looking for these answers, right? To kind of get to like where the heck, like what's happening. Obviously Cliff came out and said he's going to let go of the reins, right? Maybe a play caller is going to come and help us out. Do you think that's going to help at all?
To an extent, because obviously, we don't go to bed with that person, right? I say that saying you don't go to bed with that person, right? So we don't know what's going behind closed doors. He may relinquish play calling, but how much influence is he still going to have in the game plan? Facts. And let's look at every single game, right? Yeah. We're the only team in the NFL right now that hasn't scored a first quarter touchdown. Why is Cliff Kingsbury here? He's an offensive genius. Why is he here? Yeah. Look what Vance Joseph's doing with the defense that we all thought was going to be garbage.
Yeah.
Look what he's doing with the cornerback room, right? Who would think we'd have like this good? Like they're outperforming, and that's what good coaches do. They elevate their players. They put their players in position to be successful. Cliff's not doing that, and I really think, like I said, he's doing it on purpose. Though I think he's trying to get Cliff and Keim fired because of how they did him this offseason with the clause and all the shenanigans. I really think he's trying to get them fired.
Bro, that would be amazing. Mike, I appreciate you, man. Great call. Have a great day, dude. That's amazing. I hope so, right? Because that's weird. Because like, how does Kyler Murray just fall and drop off as he did, right? And I think that's the biggest question that we're all kind of looking at. Like when Kyler Murray was asked, like, "Hey, what's happening?" and he all like related this to like this is his rookie year. Like that's how he feels that it isn't working. And it is really weird that Kyler Murray has regressed. His throwing has been overthrowing people, and that doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in season to season. Something is going on internally, and I'm so excited for HBO Hard Knocks because I promise you guys, I've been saying this. I don't think Keim likes Cliff. I don't think Cliff likes. Oh, I'm sorry, not Keim. I'm sorry. I don't think Kyler likes Cliff. I don't think Cliff likes Kyler. I don't think the synergy, I don't think the leadership, I don't think they work well with each other. I think Mike said it best. Kyler outgrown Cliff, and Cliff just wants to use the same play calls. We need to elevate. We need to evolve. And that's just something that we're not seeing right now from Cliff Kingsbury and this offense as of right now. So we will be ending it that way. And I apologize. I know there was like at least 5 or 6 other people that wanted to jump on. We're going to continue to do these live streams where we get people to jump on. We're going to have a post game right after this Saints game where it's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be tough because I'm going to be going to the game. So it's going to be a little tough. It might be a little delayed. To just make sure you have your post notifications on, everybody. If you guys haven't already smacked the like button on this video, I appreciate you guys definitely smacking the like button. It helps the channel grow out. We're on the road to 10K, and I can't do it without you guys. So smack it up, subscribe, do all the stuff that YouTubers say to do. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so very much. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully everything works out for you guys. Other than that, have a great rest of your day. Go Cards.